Hi again, this is Dr. Chandler. Welcome to my Symbolic Interaction Theory video notes. Symbolic interactionism studies how individuals evaluate conduct, like how you and I evaluate our conduct, by comparing ourselves with the conduct of other people. Symbolic interactionism studies meanings and values. How do we interpret symbols? Symbols such as this gesture. This gesture has very different meanings across cultures. Can you name two different meanings of this very same gesture? Symbolic interactionism looks at how we behave according to how we define ourselves and how we define others. So I have a picture here of a teacher, but I could also have a picture of a student. But these are social identities, and these social identities are going to determine how we interact with one another. So individual identity is determined by our social relationships as well as the social groups that we belong to. Symbolic interactionism is associated with Max Weber. That's Weber with a V. He studied how religious beliefs and values drive social change. Specifically, he looked at Calvinists because Calvinists had a Protestant ethic in that they believed that hard work and financial success would predict whether or not they were going to go to heaven. So their beliefs influenced their work, and then they would invest all of their earnings back into their work, and so they had a large amount of capital. And when you had groups of individuals with a large amount of capital, that was what was necessary for industrialization. So Verstehen is a German word meaning understanding, and Max Weber wanted to understand how our beliefs affected our individual behavior and how that behavior created social forces that affected society. Symbolic interaction theory is associated with Max Weber. Your text also includes Charles Horton Cooley and George Herbert Mead as major symbolic interactionists. So you have some diagrams here, and you have individuals communicating, and you would be able to understand these symbols of communication, whether visual or auditory, such as language, or tactile, such as touch, or kinesthetic. You can even understand movement, and you understand all this on the basis of the culture that you belong to and what you have learned in your culture. So symbolic interactionism is also associated with the W.I. Thomas theorem. The W.I. Thomas theorem states that how we define a situation has very real consequences, even when we misunderstand a social situation. And once again, although the symbolic interaction model is looking at individual level behavior, since our understanding of this behavior comes from our cultural experience, this is how this theory makes it into sociology, which is the study of societies. So here's me diagramming symbolic interactionism, and I would expect you to be able to also make a diagram. It has to be the level of individuals, and it has to be about interpreting symbols and communication. And because we share the same culture, I'm guessing that you will be able to interpret what these symbols mean. So one person might be upset, might be swearing, and that is what one symbol means, and maybe the other individual is saying, I have a big idea. And you could interpret that on the basis of our shared culture. Remember, test yourself. Can you reproduce these diagrams? Can you explain the meanings of these diagrams? Next, please view the Levels of Analysis video notes.